It's Friday, November 22nd, and today's topic is Focus Friday for our daily live webcast here on yfelive.com. It's on every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern for about 15 minutes. It's a nice little networking burst if you're able to show up live. 10 o'clock I know is a great time sometimes for those who are on the West Coast because you're just getting started. You've just finished looking through your emails and maybe you're doing some busy work before you get started in your meetings, and on the East Coast you're maybe at lunch or just finishing up lunch. So the topic today with Focus Friday is all about looking at people that are successful and figuring out the habits that they've formed in order to reach that success. So that's a loosely based idea behind the theme that each Friday we'll be talking about. And so today's, I just wanted to keep it really short and simple as far as what we're going to be going over. And so we're going to be looking at an article that I was just talking to my mom, who's sitting on the other side. She's also my business partner, about this article. I put it up here and she's like, oh my gosh, I just saw that. And I'm like, right, why? It's called 21 Ways Rich People Think Differently. And it's this article that's been going around on Facebook and on Twitter recently. And when I finally looked at it after the 10th person shared it, it's written in 2012 and it's by an author that the book was published in 2010. I don't understand why people are sharing this right now. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. Before we get started, I wanted to go over a couple things with YFE. So the biggest thing is that our Bootstrap Book Club just got kicked off. I'm really excited about the book club. If you go to yfe.me/find me in the club, today is the first question. It's The Power of Glamour, and it's such a fantastic book. You can see it looks great in the Kindle too. The Kindle's very affordable. If you're able to get the hardcover book, it's such a beautiful book and it's something you'll put on your coffee table for sure. But our reading discussion is out there at yfe.me/find me in the club, so make sure that you check it out. And then of course we have the Love Actually Twitter party on December 8th. It's a Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to both sides of the U.S., anywhere in the world that you are at the time, we're going to click play at the same time to watch Love Actually. It's available on Netflix, so a lot of you, if you have Netflix, can watch it for free. If you're like me, you probably also have the DVD. And it's just a nice way to kind of get some busy work done and network over something fun, which is what YFE is all about, connecting young female entrepreneurs and doing it in a fun and casual, non-intimidating way. Last night was one of the ways that we did that, and we actually had Local Mom Blog on and La Petite Fashionista on for YFE Chat Live. Hopefully you guys can check that out because they're two bloggers. If you're interested in using content marketing to get in your business model, it was a fantastic show. They also gave us a little bit of holiday prep tips, which was fun because Thanksgiving is next week. So it was just a nice day. That's why I went and got the Starbucks this morning. Well, that's not true. I got the Starbucks because I'm 4 months pregnant and I made spaghetti bolognese. Is that how you pronounce it? I made my own sauce this morning because after a few months of not cooking, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it this week. I did the spaghetti or the tomatoes and everything, but you have to cook it all before you put it in the crock pot to warm it up. Totally sucks. Don't ever do it. So I was furiously trying to do it before I took my son to school, and I smell like garlic and onions after washing my hands 3 times. I don't know if that's just pregnancy smell or whatever it is, but I cannot stand it. And I was getting sick and I forgot to eat breakfast. But anyway, enough complaining. I'm pregnant, by the way. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our topic. And I brought this little prop, which I thought was very, and I brought this out last week for our vision boarding too, but I brought out the other version, which is the purple big version. It's more of a workbook version, the version I recommend you get. But if you want this one, I think it's like $4 or something like that on Amazon. It's an awesome little stocking stuffer, and as you can see, we have, all of our books are really well worn out. We have, I think my parents actually one year when I was in college got us the purple version, the workbook, my brother and I. But this is a book I've read a million times, and I thought it was a great topic of conversation for those of you that are listening to the audio version. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I think along with this article, and we're talking about focus, the idea of using rich, like how rich people work and how, looking at them as if they're on a pedestal and they're doing something differently than us poor people kind of a thing. I think that can be off-putting for a lot of people. Like, oh, I don't want to talk about money. I don't want to talk about being rich. And this book is not necessarily a how-to guide on how to get rich. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about how to figure out what you want and then how to get it and help as many people as possible, basically. And Napoleon Hill, and also this person that the article is about, which is, he wrote How Rich People Think by Steve, his name is Steve Siebold maybe. And it looks at the mentality behind how these people amassed great fortune. So on this side, it's talking about Ford and what other companies, like coal companies, JP Morgan, how they got going at the very beginning and really studied the habits that they had and what made them different from the average person. And a lot of it was about focus and having that intense desire and having the mentality behind not necessarily even thinking about money. That's the thing. It's just very interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on if you've read Think and Grow Rich or if you've read this article. And again, the article, this is originally in Business Insider. And again, it's called 20 Ways Rich People Think Differently. It's by Mandy Woodruff. And so basically what she did was ask Steve Siebold, what the rich or what the upper class did differently than the middle class. And so it goes through a number of pieces. Here, let me see if I can zoom this in for you guys. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether or not you think this is generalization or if you think, no, this is not true, I don't understand it. So they're saying, like, rich people believe poverty is the root of all evil, whereas average people think money is the root of all evil. And it goes down. And this is the one that was actually shared 1 million times on my Facebook page. Average people think selfishness is a vice, whereas rich people think selfishness is a virtue. And so I'd love to look at that point more myself, just because in this book that rang true for this, because it's not necessarily that you're selfish in that you think about, you do everything for your own self necessarily, but you do have to think about yourself, and that every morning you have to practice and know why it is that you exist, and to go to kind of self-better, work on self-development, that type of a thing. And it definitely calls for that, and to keep that in mind. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. Comment below on whether or not you feel like this has any merit, or if you just think that it is rude. And Stacy, if you're having issues with the delay or anything like that, it might be because I started the servers incorrectly. I heard that it's not working on the iPhone, so sorry about that, you guys. But so anyway, I definitely check that out. That's kind of the moral of today's live webcast, as far as what I wanted to go over is this article and what your thoughts are on different self-help pieces altogether. So the idea that you look at what other successful people have done and kind of aspire to be that. One of the things that I thought was really interesting was I watched a piece by Emerson Spartz. Have you guys ever heard of him? Emerson Spartz is the founder of MuggleNet, and let me just see if I can get him up here for you guys. So Emerson Spartz, he founded MuggleNet at a very young age, which, as you can probably tell from the name, was a Harry Potter fan site. And so what happened was that actually turned him into, it says here on one of the articles, from Muggle to media mogul by age 25. So he took that and took it into a whole other range of 5 or 10 other websites based on what he learned from MuggleNet. But Emerson Spartz, I saw him speak, and he mentioned that in high school, I don't know if it was high school or middle school, his parents actually took him out of school. And I think he requested that he be taken out of school, and he was homeschooled. And his parents, instead of doing any kind of hard curriculum or anything like that was more planned, they said, what you're going to do is you're going to read a biography or an autobiography every day. And so he said that was a life-changing experience, because what you do is you study what successful people do. You study their habits. You study what made them successful. And so that's exactly what books like this have done, is they've studied what successful people do. And I think at a young age, being able to look at what other successful people have done and seeing that that's acceptable to go after or to aspire to definitely made him, like he said, into what he's able to do today. So other websites he's done is OMG Facts, Gives Me Hope, and Smartphone. But what he's really well known for is this virality. He's understood why people share things through this MuggleNet, and it's pretty cool. If you guys get a chance to read a little bit about him, his stories are really fun because he got into MuggleNet grew to be so big that it actually caught the attention of J.K. Rowling, who is the author of Harry Potter. So anyway, I'll just take a second to look over him, and I'll try and include the recording of that video that I was talking about, so you guys can take a peek at what he was referring to as far as the biographies go. But yeah, studying successful people. Again, comment below this video and tell me what you think about books like Think and Grow Rich or this article, and if you think that that you're going on the wrong path, or that it's not effective to read what other successful people have done, or if it has worked for you. So if it's been something that has impacted your business or impacted how you've gotten started, definitely comment below. Hopefully that was a good Focus Friday for you guys. I saw that over the weekend, that article, and kind of pinned it to make sure that I mentioned it on Friday. I know we didn't talk about any hard-hitting headlines, but I definitely, going into this weekend and just finishing out 2013, I know I've mentioned that my motto is to do more and to grow bigger, and I have a big mission, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly how that's going to transpire into our business as far as live webcasting goes. But I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys will get with me or get behind me on the idea of doing more and having bigger impact. And I know I've said in the past, being obsessed about your goals, obsessed about your passion, having that burning desire, and a lot of you have been turned off by that, but I really do think it's important to know exactly what you want and do everything possible you can to get that, whether it's like Christy Turlington, who we talked about last week, with making sure women have the ability to give birth in a safe environment, or if it is like Emerson Sparks, who's trying to just increase the virality of his websites. So anyway, going off of my little rant, this has been Jennifer Donogh. You can tweet me at Jennifer Donogh. Make sure that you guys check out YFE Chat. Last night's YFE Chat, and then we also have all of the past YFE Chats, as well as Gencasts on iTunes and YouTube. On iTunes, you can just search for Young Female Entrepreneurs, and you'll find all of our podcasts on there. And then on YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/YF Entrepreneur. Make sure that you sign up for our mailing list at yfe.me/mailed it, because there you'll be able to find out the latest from YFE. You can also sign up for our book club, which, like I said, the first question drops. So make sure if you're in the book club to answer question 1. And then, of course, you can find out more about our special events, like the meetups that are happening in New York City, Seattle, Los Angeles, Phoenix. I know Stacy has one coming up, so make sure that you do that. All right, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next week, Monday through Friday, here on yfelive.com at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you.